What's up? Welcome back to
Sticky Teacher.
5 Things You Didn't Know About Vietnam. Number 5. Vietnamese people enjoy beer served over ice in the class. To Western cultures, this practice might seem unusual. Beer is typically consumed from cans, bottles, or glasses without the addition of ice. In Vietnam, drinking beer with ice is a common style. In general, we love our drinks to be served with ice, and we have our own reasons for doing that. Vietnam has a tropical climate with high temperatures and humidity, especially from May to July in Saigon. Drinking beer with ice can help keep the beer cold and refreshing in such conditions. Adding ice to beer can also have the effect of diluting it slightly. Some individuals find this preferable, as it can make the beer less intense in flavor and easier to drink, especially for those who are not accustomed to the bitterness of beer. For economic reasons, adding ice to beer can make the drink last longer, which can be cost-effective when enjoying a beer in a restaurant or bar. In Vietnam, there is no requirement for ID verification when purchasing alcoholic beverages regardless of age. Anybody can consume alcohol as much as they want if they have it. Number 4. We don't eat dog meat. Well, we don't eat dog meat like Chinese and Korean. I mean, they consume most dog meat in the world. You might ask these questions. Do we eat all kinds of dogs? What do you think? No, we don't eat Corgi, Chihuahua, Husky, Bulldog, Shiba Inu. These kinds of dogs are unique and way too expensive. These dog breeds are our pets, The dogs that are consumed in Vietnam are typically of a specific breed known as dog for meat, and they are usually cheap and common. Throughout Vietnam's history, dog meat has served as a significant food source, particularly during times of scarcity. Many argue that the practice of consuming dog meat has deep roots in folk culture, reflecting an integral part of the nation's history and heritage. However, the consumption of dog meat has encountered criticism and opposition, both within the country and on a global scale. Animal rights activists and global organizations contend that killing dogs for meat is a cruel practice that violates the animal's right to life. They assert that consuming dog meat inflicts pain on these animals and negatively impacts the country's image. In recent years, mindful awareness of animal rights has led to the reduction in dog meat consumption in Vietnam. If you're curious about the taste of dog meat, consider visiting Vietnam. Number 3. The American government treats people from Vietnam unfairly in matters related to visas and immigration. If you're holding a Vietnamese passport and wish to visit the US for any purpose, you're required to apply for a US visa. The process, however, has a whole bunch of steps, and it's a real nightmare. In fact, it often feels like challenging endeavor. They seriously examine your
criminal record, educational history, family background, and notably your financial status in employment.
Eventually, you have to pass the interview. The US government is super cautious. Believe it or not, I flew to Hanoi for the first time to participate in the interview for a US tourist visa. While waiting in the queue for my turn, I observed many people clutching stacks of documents. Some even had land certificates, company stocks, and bank statements in hand, among various other documents. I only brought my invitation letter and passport with me. Honestly, it all seems so ridiculous to me. On that day, there were a lot of people around 40 and 60 years old who had their visa applications rejected. Most people were denied visas without any explanation. What's the point? It's 2023, and many of us have witnessed significant improvements in our lives. It's no longer a time of hardships of the past, such as Vietnam War. It's reasonable to believe that these people had genuine intention to visit the US for leisure. What's the money for? You know what I mean? Regrettably, I observed that the interviewers were not friendly at all. They tried to speak Vietnamese but didn't sound clear. I find myself wishing I could have been their Vietnamese teacher, no kidding. As a Vietnamese citizen, I just feel sorry for those who got refused visas. Number 2. Taking afternoon naps is a common practice among Vietnamese. Whether people stay home or engage in school or work activities, they always find time for a short nap. In countries with hot and tropical climates like Vietnam, the midday sun can be intense and exhausting. Taking a nap during the hottest part of the day helps people avoid the heat and conserve energy. Circadian rhythms. The human body's natural circadian rhythms, or internal biological clock, are responsible for regulating sleep-wake cycles. Many people experience a dip in energy and alertness in the afternoon, which can make taking a short nap refreshing and restorative. Tradition. Napping during the day is often part of cultural traditions in Vietnam. In Vietnamese culture, work schedules are structured to accommodate afternoon naps. For example, some businesses or schools might have a designated break time during which people can rest. Number 1. Vietnamese people don't age. Like most Asian folks, Vietnamese always look younger than their real ages. Vietnamese men typically have less facial hair than Caucasian men, and we don't often grow or keep beard. This is one of the reasons why Vietnamese men often appear much younger. I always have problems with age verification when visiting a bar, buying alcohol, weed products, or lotto tickets in Canada. People in the store always request my ID for age verification, but I rarely bring my ID when I'm out. And I'm like, don't I look over 18, dude? And that's so frustrating. People still think I am 20 even though I often explain myself pretty well. Let's play a game now. How old do you think this guy is? No, not that close. What about this beautiful lady right here? What about my age? Alright, thank you for watching. Bye bye.